pencil and paper, please. So what I wanted to do today is I kind of wanted to take you back to the time when you wanted to get into real estate. That moment in time where okay, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, this is the direction. So write down, first question that I want an answer to is, when did you start in real estate? What year? Okay? More or less. What year did you start in real estate? Try to get a picture of that time. Maybe even describe it a little bit. You know, you just got out of college, you just got out of high school, you know, you had just moved on in your life, I don't know, whatever it is. You know, maybe you were a CPA and decided to do something different, et cetera, et cetera. So wherever that goes, okay? So that's question number one. Number two is, why did you start? Why did you start? Why did you get started in this business? What were you looking for? Was it to help people? Was it a money issue? Was it a growth issue? Was it an independence issue? Why did you get started in this business? Give me 3 reasons why you started, unless it's just one. Give me 3 reasons. Write those down. Anybody want to share why they started? There was a little smile on your face, Annabelle.
I started in 1996, and I started in the mortgage industry, and my husband and I were buying properties to live, and for me, it was more of a control issue. I was doing the loans. I wanted to control the real estate part of it, although my husband handled it all, but it was just control.
What was that? Okay.
And it was money.
So control and money to control the issues. Okay, good. All right. Anyone else? Why did you guys get started in this business?
But just like the idea, I just wanted to be in there and put together buyers and sellers. And I'll never forget the first business call I got on the freeway of that new cell phone, 1999. And it was a business call. And I called and I'm talking as I'm driving back then. I go, it's exactly what I want to do. And when I hung up, and I go, yes. I want to be making deals and talking to people, and that was just very, very inspirational to me. It was like, this is what I want to do.
So helping people
Yes,
buy and
exactly.
sell a house and be
put
part of
things
that
together,
transaction.
Let's do this, let's do that, and coordinate the whole thing.
Great.
And I went right after I retired from my previous career. Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, anyone else? Any other sharing? My parents wanted me to do this, but they had to do it in such a way that they couldn't be their idea. So they made it my idea by exposing me to the business. It was very interesting, because in the beginning, for the first 3 classes in real estate, I didn't want to go in real estate. I couldn't imagine being in a commission business where you didn't have a paycheck on a regular basis. Couldn't imagine it. I was in the military still at the same time, and I could not imagine being in a commission business. And my dad said he wanted to get a real estate license because he was doing a little bit of buying and selling of some properties and of some notes, although not any real big deal, but just a little bit of that kind of stuff. Wanted to get his license to have a little bit of control, I guess. Or that's what the story he told me. And got my real estate license, and so we went to this class, and he said, just hang out with me. And I said, but I hate it. I hate it. I hate the language. I hate the vocabulary. And I really hate the idea of being on commission. And he says, yeah, but we already paid for your class. So go to 3. And if everything's okay, at the end of 3, you can continue on, or you can quit. Either way. So kind of, what was I, 9? I was 19, 20, 21, something like that. The parent tells you to go do something. What do you tend to do? Fight it, right? So they were at least smart enough to do that. Anyway, on the 3rd class, I was completely hooked. Hooked, line, and sinker. I went on to get my real estate license. I went on to have, a pretty successful career in real estate for 40 years. My dad never got his real estate license. He never finish the classes. I don't even think he finished the 8 classes. At the time it was 8 weeks, 8 classes. I don't even remember him finishing the classes. He had put me in that direction. It was an amazing, amazing story. Why do we do this? As your decision, I wrote down here, the other question is, so when you started, has your decision to get into this business changed over the last however many years? You know, as it moved, has it changed? Then I wrote down a question here. Most of us have not achieved what we want out of this business yet. Most of us, we got some of it, we get part of it, we get some of the things we want, but we haven't achieved all that we want from this business yet. So I wrote down the question, why? Why? Why not? We have the license, and I think hopefully you'll all agree with me that the license really is the winning lottery ticket. Would you guys agree with this if it worked right? Is this an amazing lottery ticket where every year you can earn more and more and more if you choose to, and you can do this for 8, 9, 10, 15 years? I think, as Karen Bernardi had mentioned one time, not too long ago, that she had earned in her real estate career something just short of $40 million in her real estate career as a real estate agent. $40 million. Not in 1 year. It's over 20 or 25 years. But think about that. Is that good or bad? Hello? It's great, right? It's fantastic. I mean, that's a fabulous winning lottery ticket. That's amazing. So, the question I wrote down here is, what do all people who achieve true excellence and consistently high performance have in common? What do people who achieve true excellence and consistently high performance have in common? And I wrote down, it's a willingness to push themselves. Write down, push yourself. Push yourself. Write down, push yourself. Write down, push yourself beyond their current limits, day in and day out, despite the discomfort. Push yourself beyond your current limits. We've talked about this in the past. Success in life comes down to you and the choices you make. Success comes down to you and the choices you make every day, every week, every month. You chose to get up this morning and come to a sales meeting. Some people chose not to. You chose to focus on your business and your business plan. Some people don't. It's about choices that we make. This is one of the thoughts on pushing yourself was, no one has ever given their best and regretted it. Think about that. No one. No. So here's an absolute in life. No one has ever given their best, whatever their best is, and regretted it. So no regrets when you give your best. So, do you give your best every day, every week, every month? So I wanted to review with you kind of thoughts on pushing yourself. So point number A, or point A. No one said this would be easy. Just know that nothing beats the feeling of accomplishment. Think about what I just said. Nothing beats the feeling of accomplishment. When you do the tasks you set out for yourself in the morning, if you set tasks out for yourself in the morning, the number of calls I'm going to make, the number of houses I'm going to see, the time I'm going to spend with the prospecting, the errands I'm going to run. If you do that, and at the end of the day you review that list, even though you haven't listed or sold a home, how do you feel about yourself, good or bad? You feel great about yourself. You check those lists off, you check the list off, and you feel really, really good about yourself. So nobody said this was going to be easy, but if you want to feel good about yourself on a daily basis, create a checklist of your activities for today, and then do those activities. Prospecting, previewing, role-playing, going to see expireds, going to learn a higher price point. You'll feel great about yourself, even though you don't list or sell a home. Point number B. There's no substitute for consistency. It's baby steps consistently, not giant steps occasionally, that get you to your goal. It's all about pushing yourself. Pushing yourself just a little bit further. Whether it's exercising, whether it's getting up 5 minutes earlier so that you can get the exercise in. You know, just as a side note, since March, when I had the procedure, I've been lazy with my exercise. And of course, in the beginning, I thought to myself, I don't need to get up so early. You know, I just fought this cancer thing and I beat it, and I feel good about myself, and I don't feel like I need to get up so early, and I was sleeping in a little bit later. Anybody relate to this a little bit? You know, you do something, and okay. So I'm sleeping in a little bit later. My wife isn't utzing me at all because, you know, she feels that, well, you kind of, you worked on this thing over here, so I'm not going to push you over here, right? So it just went on and on. That was from March. April, May, June, July. Look, how long can I milk this thing, right? So, and I told you, last Monday I jumped on the treadmill and started doing what I needed to be doing. And I used to think to myself, well, even on a Monday morning, I wouldn't exercise on a Monday morning because I'd have to get up like a half an hour earlier to make sure that I was in here in the office being able to do what I can do. Well, I find it very interesting because I can easily get up a half an hour earlier. It's not a big deal. I did it now 2 Mondays in a row. I got to the sales meeting in plenty of time. I feel great about myself. I feel great about getting this done, and I feel great about being able to share this story with you. It's just doing the little things consistently over time. And all of a sudden, great things can happen. My suits are starting just 1 week. And I notched the belt a little bit. You know, I had to go on another notch. I mean, look at this. You know? Might have to get my suit taken in here. I mean, those are all great feelings, right? Say yes. Yes. No substitute for consistency. In anything we do, whether it's role play, whether it's door knocking, whether it's phone canvassing, whether it's weight loss, there's no substitute for the consistency. I wrote down number C, letter C. Once you learn to quit, this is an important thought, because this is where I was in March and April. Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. Once I didn't do it, and I didn't do it for a few days, that started to become the habit. Now that I'm doing it, and doing it for a few days, that's starting to become the habit too. Get it? Once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. Keep going. Point D. Point D. Hard work can outdo genetics. Just write that down, because I want to tell you a little story real quick. Hard work can outdo genetics. Who here has had the opportunity to see the movie Planes? The Planes. I guess it's The Planes. No, it's Planes. Anybody seen it? It's a cartoon. Okay, anybody here have grandkids or little kids? Oh, you are missing. Okay, so now there's the second movie I think the world should see. The first one, of course, is Rudy. And if you haven't seen Rudy, the football story of the young man that went to Notre Dame, You need to see that, and this week. The second movie is you all have to go out and see Planes. Now, I went to go see it with my grandson, and I wasn't sure. I liked the movie Cars. I've seen it 943 times. I've seen it forwards, I've seen it backwards, I've seen it upside down. I've seen it in my car, not in my car, on the beach, not on the beach, in a boat. I have seen that movie. The kids love it, and you know what I'm talking about. They just run the movie into, and it just breaks. Well, now we have a new great movie, which is Planes. The story is of a crop duster named Dusty. And Dusty's a little plane, and traditionally crop dusters aren't very fast. In fact, by definition, they need to be slow. And they don't have to be aerodynamically spectacular, because all they need to do is kind of run along the field, spray their chemicals out over the field, and then turn around and keep going, and that's their life, day in and day out, year in and year out, month in and month out. That's what they do. That's what this plane did. That's what Dusty did. But in Dusty's heart, in his mind, Dusty, the cartoon character, was a great racing plane, one of the greatest in the world, and that's how he saw himself. Even though genetically, aerodynamically, he was a little crop duster. So the story talks about how Dusty overcomes all of these issues, and even though he's a crop duster, actually works on different things, and even though his genetics are X, he doesn't care, and focuses on becoming a great racing airplane. There's so many morals in the story. There's so many lessons in the story. I can't encourage you enough to go see it. So there's two movies for you. Rudy, if you haven't seen it, and then the new movie, the new cartoon, Planes. Okay? Hard work can outdo genetics. So point number E, do it now. Do it now because sometimes later becomes never. Think about what I just said. Do it now because sometimes later becomes never. Now that's a scary thought. However, that's what happens to us sometimes, doesn't it? You know, we don't do the practice because we're going to put it off to later. Oh, how's this? How many times have you promised to do your prospecting in the afternoon instead of the morning, only for the afternoon to come and you not what? Do it. How many times does that happen? That happens. So in your mind, you think, it's okay, I'll make it up tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll do prospecting in the morning and in the afternoon. And maybe you do, and maybe you don't. But let me tell you about the one you missed. Has there ever been a time where you caught a client at home by accident at noon or in the afternoon or in the morning because the client was sick, you knocked on the door, maybe they didn't go to work today. They've always gone to work. For 27 years, they've always gone to work. And they would never be home on a Tuesday morning when you're out phone canvassing or door knocking. But because you were, you happened to catch them at home. And as it turns out, they were going to talk to somebody about listing their house. But because you didn't go out that Tuesday morning, you would have never caught them at home. And in the future, on every Tuesday morning for the rest of your real estate career, they will never be home again. They were only home that one Tuesday. And you caught them at home. Or, if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you'd never catch them at home. So there's a logic to do your job when you're supposed to do it, as is important as making sure you put in the hours by the end of the week. Is everybody with me on this thought? Because I think we're all missing opportunities on a regular basis there. So, do it now, because sometimes later becomes never. Then I wrote down, if we understood the power of our thoughts. Now, don't write anything down, just think about this for a second, and then you can write this thought down. If we understood the power of our thoughts, we would guard them more closely. If we understood the power of our words, we would prefer silence to anything negative. In our thoughts and words, we create our own weaknesses and strengths. In our words, in our self-talk, we talk us into things and we talk us out of things, don't we? So I go on to say our limitations begin in our hearts, where we can always replace negative with positive. Remember, your limits are only your opinion. Your limits are only your opinion. And when you want to change your opinion, you can, right? I like pizza with cheese on it. I think that's the best pizza there is. That's what? My opinion, right? Now, I tasted pizza with grilled onions on it. Whoa! Now, pizza with cheese and grilled onions are the best pizza in the world. I just did what? Changed my opinion. That's all that's going on with our thoughts. We can always replace them. They're only our opinion. Next thought. You can have results or excuses. Write this down. You can have results or you can have excuses. You can have results or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both. You're either making it happen or you're not. You're either making excuses or you're getting results. That's it. You can have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. Next thought. Good things come to those who wait. Greater things come to those who are willing to work for it. Willing to work for it. This is all about, this whole talk is about pushing yourself just a little bit. Pushing yourself just a little bit. Pushing yourself in each category, whether you're prospecting, whether it's your health, whether it's your learning your scripts and dialogues. We have an opportunity right now. It's the middle of August. There's still plenty of time if you choose to sell a good amount of houses and put them in escrow and get a decent amount of them closed between now and the end of the year. You still can have a great Christmas. You still can. Doesn't matter what's gone on in the first 7.5 months. What's more important is what's going to go on in the next few months. I wrote down here, set small goals for yourself and meet them on a regular basis. Set small goals for yourself and meet them on a regular basis. The last thought is choose one area of your life and push yourself just a little harder than you think is possible every day. Choose one area of your life and push yourself. That's the key to the talk today. Push yourself just a little bit harder than you think is possible every single day. You'll feel better about yourself, and over time, you'll get better at what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, today really does matter. What we do, how we do it, who we're going to do it with, whether you push yourself a little bit more or you don't, today matters. No one has ever given their best. We started off with this. No one has ever given their best and regretted it. Now let's go out and make this one of the best weeks we've ever had. Thank you all. Thank you.